Well, Boiler, players only closing the door, kicking the coaches out. You guys maybe have done this before. Former teammates right here. But, hey, bigger thing here. Look at the weekend you guys spent together back in 2018. Pretty sick for both of you guys. We got the pick here? Or are you guys going to make me look like an idiot? I think it's coming. All right. Yeah, well, anyways, back in 2018. Hey. How was this moment, Halsey? Pretty big moment for you.
Yeah, that was awesome. Having Boiler there was pretty cool too, and the whole Devils brass came, and it was kind of a celebration of our season that year. No one had very high expectations for us, and we were able to get into the playoffs and have a really fun year. And Boiler was a big part of that.
This guy was unstoppable.
A machine that year.
It was incredible to watch. I remember just any time. And I think, Halsey, correct me if I'm wrong, you were having a good year up until maybe Christmas, probably around a point a game. And then I think you just like, screw you guys, I'm taking you with me. We're going ham, right? It was epic. I couldn't, whenever we needed a goal, it just happened. And it was from Niner, the 9 car.
Yeah, it was a good year. I think you're right. It was around a point a game until the new year, and then I think I got a point in 26 straight games. So it was one of those seasons where, you know, the first period I'd find a way to get on the score sheet, and then you kind of have confidence the rest of the game, and our whole team, you know, played the right way. We played hard, we played fast, and I think that obviously was a good style for me. And honestly, when I think about it now, reminds me of how we play with the Hurricanes here. It's north, it's direct, and it's really easy to read off of. And those are the types of systems that I think I have success with. And that year was obviously a lot of fun.
Could we get that board up again? Because we just showed some of your analytics from that year. And I don't know if you're a big analytics guy, but the guy next to me hates analytics.
I don't know what all these English.
Are you into any
39
underlying
goals.
numbers? And if so, could you explain it to the big man here? Because he can't stand any of this.
Yeah, I mean, expected goals for percentage, 53.
What does that mean?
I'm guessing
Who
that's
decides
scoring
that?
chance for percentage, and then high danger chance for percentage. So
do you follow this? Do you follow your own? Do you pay attention to this or not really?
I pay attention a bit to my own. I'm curious to see, you know, around the league what teams are at and how they're playing. It's, you know, there's a lot of context that you need to have with those numbers, and I think that you can look at, you know, more so the last 5 games or 10 games of how a team's doing or how a player's doing, because there can be ebbs and flows to a season. Just like, you know, when you're watching a player, you see, okay, maybe they're struggling a bit, but they figure it out. So those numbers are interesting, but they require a lot of context for sure.
See, Brian, a Hart Trophy winner thinks that they're...
Did you just hear that?
He said they're interesting.
Yeah, okay, they're interesting. You know what? There's a lot of stuff that's interesting. Read the newspaper.
But Boiler, you could, if you looked at it, like, you know, I had a good year that year, and we got a lot of stuff to the slot, and we had a lot of high danger chances. You know, like, you can see that with your eyes too. It's more so when, you know, when you're maybe undecided on a player or you don't really quite know him as well. You can look at the numbers and then watch the shifts and make your own opinion.
We actually brought up Boilers last year in Pittsburgh. Remember that? He was all about the analytics thing because his numbers are actually really good. He was one of the best PK guys in the league as far as his analytics. So, all right. Well, anyways, that's just a little side note. We're working on beyond that.
Yeah, I just think if you get a lot of shots on net, you get more shots than you give up. And I'm shooting pucks onto the net or passing it, and the guys are getting chances. I was like, oh, it's a pretty good game. Sometimes they go in, sometimes
no. I know what you mean. I'm just messing with you.
They're just trying to confuse me. They're trying to confuse me, Halsey. Going back to Carolina, though, like I reached out to you a couple days ago just after your hat trick because I'm a cherry picker like that. But I've been watching you since you've been there, and you look like you again. You're dynamic. You're all over the puck. You're all over plays. They weren't really going in for you. Kind of snake bitten, would you say? I mean, you just fit in so well. How's it been with the guys? How's it been Rachel, how does she like it down there? Everything, start to finish. How's it been so far in Carolina?
Yeah, it's been really good. At the start, yeah, I think I felt like I was snake bitten, and our whole team did really. When Miko was here, it felt like he was snake bitten, and then all of a sudden things start to happen. You see a couple goals go in, and we've played well over our last what is it, 12 games. We have 9 or 10 wins. That's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to peak going into the playoffs here, and overall it's been great. I've really enjoyed living here. The weather's been amazing. Around the rink, like I said, we're starting to win games and really gel coming down the stretch here, which is just so fun for me, to be in a playoff spot, to look forward to, who we're going to play in the first round, and all that is just so exciting. And I'm super happy to be here. And the guys in the room are awesome. This team is full of characters. I swear, if this team was in Canada, or maybe a larger sports market, you get to know them a lot more. But these guys are great, and we really enjoy playing in front of these fans here in Raleigh. It's been a lot of fun.
Halsey, can you take us through like the lead up to the trade? What did you know? Did you know your name was out there? Kind of the last days maybe in Chicago?
Yeah, I knew that I was gonna. I knew that I was kind of on the block, and at that point in time, I had a 10-team no trade list, so I had a little bit of a say in where I wanted to go, and I wanted to come to Carolina. Once I started kind of looking at what kind of team they were, and I know how they played. They play fast, they play hard, they play with a lot of pressure all over the ice, and I felt that I'd be a good fit. So I thought my trade was done for about 4 or 5 days before it happened, and I was kind of wondering what the holdup was, and it was because it was a part of the Mikko Rantanen trade, and there was a lot of moving parts there. But once it happened, I was pumped to come here, and it's been everything I could ask for.
Yeah, and you had another goal last night. It's just been a blast to watch you. You've played on a number of different places. We mentioned before you came on that it's nice to see the sun. Now, as your wife Rachel, has she been able to go to that hotel Umstead, that little spa hotel, or what kind of things have you been able to do? I know it's a whirlwind when you get traded, but have you guys been able to get out into Raleigh at all and enjoy some of the perks that maybe playing down somewhat southern market can offer?
We haven't been to the Umstead just yet. We're going out for some sushi later on here, and hopefully we'll get a spot on the patio. She's gone for a ton of walks with our baby boy and our dog. Seeing the sun and seeing that it's 21, 22 degrees some days is enough to put you in a good mood.
Halsey, what's that in Fahrenheit? I'm sorry. Can you convert that for me,
I would say it's like 70, 75.
Oh, that's nice.
All right.
Around there. So perfect. The boys and I, we played a round of golf last week, and it was awesome.
What about growing up? I think we learned that your dad built backyard rink. What was it like, kind of growing up playing other sports? We know your dad is a football player, right? So can you give us a little background there?
Yeah, sure. My dad was a CFL football player, and he went into bobsledding after that. My mom kind of got me into hockey originally, and my dad figured out that I was pretty good at it and started making me rinks, started training me, and really just kind of passing on what he learned in his career in sports. And that's invaluable. It's a pretty cool relationship him and I have. We talk on the phone before every game, and we still communicate a lot, and just he's a guy that's always in my corner, and I'm lucky to have that. All those backyard rinks, all those times skating, that was mostly in Calgary on the outdoor rink. It's amazing how much you can own your skills when there's no one watching, and when you're just doing it for the love of the sport. and those are some amazing times that I remember.
Yeah, Mr. Hall's an intense man. I remember, I don't know if you remember this, Halsey, but we're in Vegas just having a great time. It's a little bit later in the evening, and he just, maybe because I was going to be on your team again the following year, but he grabbed me by the shoulders and said, "You got to build the engine. You got to build the engine. What are you doing for training?" I kind of wanted him to I just wanted to hire him on the spot.
Yeah.
to come to Boston and train me all summer, because then maybe I could have a big season like you did. But I just remember meeting him. Is he still that intense with you, or has he kind of calmed down a little bit as you progressed?
I think he's let me take the wheel a bit as my career's gone on. I think that was a big weekend for my family, for me. Bit of a culmination, just individually, on what I had done in my career up to that point. So my dad's not much of a partier, but he might have had a beer or two in him at that point in time. So yeah, that was a fun weekend, man. Seeing what you're able to overcome that season and be celebrated for it, and for me, just being around all those players and being able to have my future wife there and everything, that was awesome.
When you talk about your future wife, you guys had a baby Stetson. Is that his name?
Yeah, Stetson. Yeah, he's a year and a half. I think he's having some dinner right now. We actually had kids night here in Raleigh a couple weeks ago. We had a big win, and I got to take him on the ice for the storm surge after the game. And he got to come in the room for, kind of the coach's speech afterwards. We all had our kids there. I think we were all kind of looking around thinking that this was pretty cool. Now that I'm at this age and I have a boy, you take the bad games a bit easier, knowing that you're coming home to that. And also, you're setting an example, right? You're starting to be the leader for a young boy, and that's always a good thing to kind of put your priorities in the right place.
No question. I always thought the same. Tough games are tough, but they're a little less tough when you get home and your kids are happy to see you.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask one thing. You mentioned you had golfed recently. We have, I think we have a photo here, but there's a round you got to play with the Great One.
Yeah, that was last year, maybe late April with Gretzky. That was at the Grove, actually. That was at Michael Jordan's course. Wayne and his wife were gracious enough to take Connor Murphy and I out for a round of golf, and so it was us four and their two sons, Ty and Trevor. It was a lot of fun. It was a great day. I think Murph and I lost some money in the process, but it was good. Wayne can whack it around. He's not overly long, but he's straight, and he plays really, really, really fast. I asked him what the course record was before the round, just kind of kidding around, and he said something like 2 hours 15 minutes. So right then I knew that we were going to play some fast golf.
I love fast golf.
Fast golf's great.
Good golf is fast.
I know, but when you haven't played the course and you're playing with Wayne Gretzky for the first time, you don't really want it to go by that quickly.
No.
Yeah, you probably want to ask, who's giving up the shots? Are you guys giving him the candy or what?
I think we both gave him. I gave him maybe a couple shots. Murph's better than me. Murph's like a 4, so he was giving him more. But Janet can play too, and she knows when to press. She knows when to double the bets, and
backside's double if the front has a press, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We got an anniversary coming up, March 30th, 2013. Pretty impressive. You got a hat trick in the first 8 minutes of the game versus Vancouver. You remember this?
I do remember this. Yeah, we were kind of in the middle of a playoff push there. That was a lockout shortened year. Saturday night, I remember that, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Good memories playing back in Edmonton, playing with Ebbs and Witz, and a lot of fun guys.
If I got a hat trick in the first, I'd fake an injury. I'm done. That's enough. It's not going to get better than that.
Your goals, your analytics,
It was
analytics
one
would
of
be
those
great.
nights I could have had 5. I missed a couple later in the game too. Yeah, it was.
Do you end the game all
We're-
mad? You're pissed off because you can imagine?
No,
That's a different level.
I'm not like that, but
No, I know.
I could have had a couple more. I remember that.
All right, Halsey, we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to do something called best versus worst. And this is a fun one because we'll just ask you certain questions about mostly players. But we'll start here. So of all the teams you've played on, who's the best and who's the worst practice player? Putting you on the spot a little bit, sorry.
Yeah, putting me on the spot. Best practice player. This guy, Anton Bleed, I played with in Boston. He was the best practice player I can remember off the top of my head. He was unreal in practice. Worst practice player. I'm not the best practice player, and I've had some trouble with the practice drills here in Carolina.
Oh, you're a drill killer?
So I can be I can be at times, but I know that Ebbs has come on here and said that too, so I guess I'll just say myself.
You know what?
What a guy.
Now that you said it, I remember we had Ebbs on, and he said he mentioned you.
I know, because he texted me right after. He goes, "Hey, I just kind of sewered you on the NHL Network." I go, "Okay, what's new?"
You
got
should have gotten him back.
Anton Bleed here, maybe Connor McDavid right below him somewhere. Or...
I know, but practice player, I'm more thinking of someone that's like kind of takes their game to another level. And
like all world in practice, but not necessarily in games.
Yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah,
do you remember Bratter in that Vegas practice after the rookie night?
I don't know.
Oh man,
It's tough.
he would have
tough
been.
day.
He would have topped anything any bad practice you've had. He would have topped you. Shout out Bratter, great player, love him.
Some guys can't hang, right?
He didn't have a sip either that night, which was the funniest
Oh,
part.
okay. Oh, okay. Now, that it's starting to jog my memory.
So
now.
nervous.
All right, the next one we got. I don't know which one to go with here. Let's go with the best city for dinner. Road city and the worst, and that doesn't mean the worst city. It's just maybe where you're staying. There's not a lot of options around.
Okay. Best, I'd say Chicago's probably the best for dinners. And the worst, I would say, let's go with Columbus. I was gonna say Winnipeg, but Winnipeg has the keg, and I have a soft spot for for the keg in Canada.
Winnipeg, the keg was the only spot I ever went to in Winnipeg, I think, for dinners.
I think the kegs.
Yeah.
I think the keg is great.
Keg is great.
You know what's a crazy one? I was just thinking while you're saying this, because we're in New Jersey now, and I live in New Jersey. I would probably say because of where you stay, New Jersey would be one of the worst road cities to go get dinner. Although you got some of the best eating around. Like you got to go like a little bit out. I feel like. But anyways, I mean, you lived in Jersey. You guys both like great food, but just as an opposing team coming in. Sometimes there wasn't really all that many options.
It's a rest night.
Yeah, rest night.
Yeah, and if you don't want Italian, then you're out of luck a little bit.
A little bit.
That's true. All right, which one? Okay, best worst goalie to face in practice.
Best goalie to face in practice. Linus Ullmark was a sick goalie, I would say, in practice. I had his number pretty good. It wasn't like he was a bad practice player, but I knew where to shoot on him in practice. And the best, I would say, is I'll go back to Boston. Tuukka Rask was sick. He was one of those goalies that like just always knew where you were shooting and made it look easy when he stopped you.
All right, I like those answers.
You.
I got last one here for you, Halsey. Who was the best and worst teammate, 6'7" from Massachusetts with 5 or more kids?
Oh yeah.
How was the big man?
Great
How
guy,
was the big man as a teammate?
Great guy, average card player.
So I played with him at a different time. I played with him in like 2012, 13 time, and we used to like tease him. You mean mugged all the time.
Yeah.
Was he was like one of the funniest guys. I mean, one of my favorite teammates of all time. But man, he could be grumpy, no?
Oh, man.
I think I got happy, Boiler. I think
Did you?
I got.
All right.
I think I got maybe like where I'm at in my career now. I got that version of Boiler. So.
Yeah, we had Steph Nason was the mean mugger in the car.
Yeah, I mean, he was always in a bad mood about something. Nace was, but good dude as well. Yeah, Boiler was a great guy and such a good hockey player. I mean, you know, it's impressive what he could do at his size, and he played on the power play, PK, and. Is that what you told me to say before the show? Come on.
Getting awkward now.
Hey, you're yelling it right now. Hey, great analytics. He's got great analytics. Great underlying numbers.
Yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, hey, Halsey, we really appreciate, man. We love watching the high stepping there in Carolina, and keep it up.
All right. Thanks, boys.